Welcome back, everyone. Today we're jumping into a really fun, sometimes contentious topic in comics.
Oh, yeah. Which one?
Speed of thought versus the speed of light. You see it debated online constantly.
Oh, yes. A classic. And we've dug into some sources that really get into why this distinction actually matters in Marvel and DC. It's not just about bragging rights for who's faster.
Exactly. It's, about how speed works. There's travel speed, combat speed, reflexes.
And then there's this whole other category. Mental speed, the speed of thought. It adds a whole different dimension to fights and strategies.
And the big takeaway from our sources seems pretty consistent, actually.
Which is?
That in both universes, generally speaking, speed of thought is shown as faster than the speed of light.
Right. And just to set the baseline, speed of light in comics is usually treated like the real-world constant,
About 186,000 miles per second, give or take.
Yeah, roughly. It's the benchmark for really, really fast physical movement, crossing solar systems, that kind of thing. Characters hitting that speed are top-tier powerful.
But speed of thought, that's different.
Very different. It's not really given a number. It's often just instantaneous or near enough to make no difference. It just is faster than light in most portrayals.
So if it's not usually about, flying faster than light, what is it mainly used for in the comics?
That's the key question. The sources really point towards mental reaction time.
Okay, so how fast someone can see something, figure it out, and decide what to do.
Precisely. It's that cognitive processing speed. Perceive, process, decide, then act. That initial mental part happens at thought speed for some characters.
Giving them a huge edge, presumably. It's less about raw velocity and more about, thinking fast. Tactical speed.
Exactly. It's that split-second or even faster mental jump that lets them react immediately. To really get a handle on it, there's a great example our sources highlight.
Lay it on me.
Uncanny X-Men, #150, Storm versus Magneto.
Oh, I remember this one.
Yeah.
Very dramatic. Storm's decided she has to take Magneto out while he's vulnerable, sleeping even.
Yeah, heavy stuff. But for our purposes, the crucial bit is Magneto's reaction when she makes her move. The comic text specifically says he reacts at the speed of thought.
Okay, so what does that look like in the panels?
He instantly knows she's there and what she intends. It's not just waking up startled, it's immediate threat assessment.
And then?
An instantaneous response. A magnetic force field erupts and blasts Storm away before she can strike.
And isn't there that visual cue with his armor?
Yes, that's a key detail. As the force field hits, his armor is shown flying off its stand and wrapping around him super quickly.
Right. It really emphasizes that his powers kicked in the instant his mind registered danger. Like a direct thought-to-power connection.
And this is really important. The source makes a point to distinguish this. Magneto himself isn't physically moving at the speed of thought there.
What do you mean? His armor moves incredibly fast.
It does. But think about it. If his entire being moved at thought speed, he'd have been fully suited up before the magnetic blast even hit Storm.
Ah, okay. So the thought and the power activation were near instantaneous.
Right. The mental reaction and the initiation of the force field.
But the physical act of the armor assembling, while very fast, still took a fraction of a moment longer. It wasn't truly instantaneous like the thought.
Exactly. It shows his cognitive speed is at that speed of thought level, triggering his powers reflexively. But his physical movement, even power-assisted, operates on a slightly different timescale.
That makes sense. And the source backs this up further, right? Because Magneto gets beaten later in the same issue.
Just 11 pages later, yeah. The X-Men managed to overpower him. Now, if he could consistently move and defend at that initial speed of thought reaction level,
they wouldn't stand a chance.
Pretty much. It highlights that his elite mental reaction time doesn't equate to unbeatable combat speed or invulnerable physical reflexes. There are still limits.
So, thought speed is mostly about reaction. But what about actually traveling at the speed of thought? You mentioned that's rarer.
Much rarer, yeah. Applying that concept to physical travel is usually reserved for, cosmic beings or extreme speedster moments. It signifies breaking normal physical rules.
Can I an example?
A really interesting old one. Tales to Astonish, #73. Hulk and the Leader.
Okay, Hulk. Pure physical power. But he's stuck.
Yep, there's a planet he needs to get to, but it's just too far away. Even the Hulk's incredible strength and leaping ability aren't enough to cross that distance physically.
You can't just jump there.
Exactly. His physical form has limits in space travel. So the Leader, being the super genius villain,
comes up with a suitably sci-fi solution.
You got it. He builds a device that converts the Hulk into pure thought energy.
Whoa. Okay, unpack that.
The logic is simple in comic book terms. Physical travel has limits. Thought apparently doesn't, or at least has much higher limits.
So by making Hulk into a thought wave,
You can traverse that impossible distance at, well, the speed of thought. It's presented as fundamentally faster than any physical means.
so it's literally using thought speed as travel speed by changing the nature of the traveler.
Precisely. It reinforces that idea that thought operates on a different, faster plane than physical matter in these stories.
Okay, so that's literal thought travel. But sometimes speed gets tricky, like with dimension hopping.
No.
Our sources mention Wanda and Agatha.
Right, yeah. In the Scarlet Witch Annual from 2023, there's a fight where Wanda and Agatha are dimensional skipping. And some people might read that as them fully traveling through each dimension.
Like taking a detour through different realities.
Kind of, but the source argues pretty convincingly that's not what's happening.
Why not?
Well, first off, the speed. This whole sequence, jumping through multiple dimensions, it happens in the time it takes to say 2 words back in the main reality.
Okay, that's incredibly fast. Too fast for actual travel through whole dimensions, probably.
Almost certainly. Even with magic, physically entering, navigating, and exiting multiple distinct realities that quickly seems unlikely, the visuals emphasize rapid shifts.
And didn't Agatha call it skipping?
She did. And skipping implies something different than traveling, doesn't it?
Yeah, like a quick bounce, not a journey.
Exactly. Like skipping a stone on water. You hit the surface briefly, then jump to the next point. Traveling is more like, swimming through the water.
So they're using the dimensions more like portals or stepping stones.
That's the argument. They flash through places like the Inner Planes Black Sea, the Superflow, the Megaverse. Just blink and you miss it appearances.
Not stopping to sightsee or fight local monsters?
Not at all. There's no real interaction with these places. They're just momentary backdrops for their magical duel. Their focus is entirely on each other.
The source had an analogy, right? House to grocery store.
Yeah, traveling through dimensions is like driving the whole way. Dimensional skipping is like using a portal to pop directly into the cereal aisle.
Instantaneous jumps between points, not covering the space in between.
Exactly. So they are moving between dimensions, but skipping seems a much better description than traveling. It's rapid, tactical repositioning.
Got it.
Okay, so we've established thought speed is generally faster, especially for reaction. But can it be beaten?
Now, can you outrun a thought?
Or, maybe more accurately, can you prevent the thought from being effective? The Flash comics give us some good examples, particularly with Gorilla Grodd.
Ah, Grodd. Super intelligent, telepathic gorilla. Definitely operates mentally.
Right. And in Flash #240, Wally West knows this. He knows he's physically faster than light, but Grodd's telepathy works at thought speed.
It's a potential problem.
Big problem. Wally's initial plan is basically hit Grodd before he can even form a telepathic command. A preemptive strike against the thought process itself.
A race between physical speed and mental speed.
And the source points out there's a moment where Grodd does get that tiny window to think and react mentally, and he wins that exchange.
So thought speed is dangerous if given the chance.
Absolutely. But later, things shift. Barry, Iris, and Jai team up against Grodd, and they basically overwhelm him with speed.
Just pure velocity.
Not just velocity, but overwhelming presence. They create so much high-speed chaos around him that he can't get the mental footing, the clear moment, to even form a coherent telepathic attack.
So they're denying him the processing time, disrupting the thought before it becomes action.
Exactly. It's not just being faster than the thought's effect, it's preventing the actionable thought from fully forming or being directed.
Interesting. And then Iris does something similar but differently.
Yeah, in Flash #243, Iris takes Grodd down solo, and she doesn't use super speed in the traditional running sense. She uses precision.
How?
She hits him with this continuous high-frequency vibration directly into his body.
Okay. And that does what?
The key is it disrupts the connection between his brain and his powers, between the thought and the execution.
So even if he's thinking at thought speed.
The signal gets scrambled, the vibration creates noise that stops the thought from translating into a telepathic command or physical action controlled by his mind.
Like cutting the wires. Mental speed is useless if it can't command anything.
Precisely. So the takeaway is, thought speed is theoretically faster, yes, but it's not infallible. Sufficient physical speed, precision attacks, or disruption can neutralize it by denying it the chance to operate effectively.
He needs that window, that connection to work.
Exactly. Now, should we circle back to those really rare cases of physical travel at thought speed?
Yeah, you mentioned Quicksilver and Wally West. Let's get into those specific moments.
Okay, Quicksilver. This is from Scarlet Witch, 2024, #4. Wanda's on the moon, fighting the Griever, Bad situation. She needs help from Earth, like now.
And she calls on her brother.
Right. But she needs him to do something specific. Run faster than the speed of thought to intercept the Griever when she teleports it back.
And Quicksilver's reaction is basically, that's impossible.
Yeah, his exact words are something like, "No one runs that fast, I'll run my skin off." It highlights just how extreme this request is, even for him.
Oh, he does it.
He does. Driven by desperation, needing to save Wanda, he pushes himself beyond anything he thought possible, builds up incredible speed just waiting.
And then Wanda ports the Griever right into his path.
Bam! He delivers the knockout kick. It's shown as this monumental effort, achieving thought speed travel through sheer will and circumstance.
A true outlier moment. What about Wally?
Wally West, flash forward 2020, #5, his task is immense. He has to cleanse a planet of dark matter.
Sounds standard for a Flash.
Except the dark matter is the planet. The whole thing is corrupted.
Oh, okay. That's worse.
Yeah. So Wally has to move faster than he ever has. The comic is very clear here. He pushes past light speed, then past thought speed.
Wait, past thought speed too.
And then it says he even outpaces the speed force itself.
Outpacing his own power source. How does that even work?
Comic book physics. But the point is, it's not metaphorical. The narrative stresses he's transcending every known limit of speed.
And the result.
He becomes this blur, this fundamental force of motion that essentially rewrites the planet's structure, purging the dark matter by moving faster than its very existence, almost.
Wow. So again, not a Tuesday jog for him.
Yeah. Absolutely not. Both Quicksilver and Wally's feats are presented as extreme, desperate measures, pushing beyond mortal limits to achieve physical travel at or even beyond thought speed. There are exceptions that prove the rule about how rare it is.
Okay, so wrapping this up then, what's the final verdict from our deep dive?
I think it's pretty clear. Speed of thought in Marvel and DC mostly means mental processing speed, reaction time. And on that front, yeah, it's consistently showed as faster than light speed.
And while everyone thinks actually operating at that speed of thought reaction level is special, it's usually reserved for critical moments, high-stakes stuff.
Right. That Magneto example is perfect for showing that instantaneous reaction. Perceive threat, deploy power, boom.
But it's not usually about physical travel.
Not usually. Those instances, like with Quicksilver literally running faster than thought or Wally outpacing the Speed Force, those are huge narrative-defining moments. They show characters shattering limits.
It really highlights the difference between instantaneous mental processing and the immense challenge of making physical matter move that fast.
Exactly.
So maybe something for our listeners to think about. How does this difference, the almost instantaneous mental reaction versus the still limited, even if incredibly fast, physical speed change how fights play out? What kind of strategies or maybe even weaknesses come from relying on speed of thought versus pure physical velocity?
That's a great question. What happens when thought speed meets something equally conceptual? Or when physical speed finds a way to bypass mental defenses entirely? Lots to chew on there.
Definitely. Well, that's all the time we have for this deep dive. Thanks for joining us.